there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another video. Once again, it is Sovereign Saturday. Keep your mental health right. Keep your mental health right. Yeah, I'm going to tell you what. You know, we can always talk about body game and we can talk about the physicality and everything, but I'm gonna tell you what, everything starts with your mind. And especially as a sovereign man, like if you want to be a sovereign man, and when I say sovereign, let me be clear, I ain't talking about some other stuff, that citizens movement and all of that, but just having control in your life. You know, it could be as simple as having your own driver's license. Hey, don't take that for granted. There's many men out there who don't have that, having your own spot. Shoot, having at least, if you have a job, at least having leverage on the job, preferably having your own business. You know, having a measure of control in your life. That's what it means. And yeah, we can always talk about making the money and everything and body game and, you know, we can talk about all those things. But you got to have your mind right for all those things to happen, because if your mind ain't right, you're not going to go to the gym. If your mind ain't right, you're not going to stay on the job. If your mind ain't right, you're not going to get the certification, education, skills you need to have even a job, let alone a business. You know, if your mind ain't right, shoot, you're going to be under the control of other people whose minds are better. In fact, we have that in society now. Let me go a little deep with y'all. Something I would usually share on my Deep Thought channel. When I talk about the theys, and the theys could be metaphysical, political, economic, whatever. One of the things the theys do, is mess with people's ability to think. And they do that through the education system. Yes, the education system. They do that through the outer practice of religions. They do that through the media. You know, and all they want to do is, because if people really start thinking, society would change. You get a critical mass of people who would think. Oh, no, they want people to be mentally jacked up. They ain't trying to heal people out here. They want people to have their minds wrong, and to have bad mental health. They want that. The theys want that. Let's just be clear on it. Don't get mad at me. I'm just pointing out something. They know it too. They be watching my channel. It's like, yeah, Ron, thankfully not enough people watch your Sovereign Saturdays or your Deep Thought. Hey, one person at a time. But hey, I'm gonna tell you what though, your mental health is important. Your mental health is how you can really succeed. I've seen it. I've seen it in people. They get their mind, they could be going through a bunch of stuff. I've seen so many people. Scores. I mean, when I say scores, I mean scores of people. Their minds might not be right, but then all of a sudden they change something. They change it. They get their minds right. They get their mental health right. All of a sudden, everything they touch turned to gold. As a sovereign man, you got to make sure your mind is right. If you have any issues with your mental health, you need to get professionals. And that isn't hitting up Uncle Rom and trying to share your problems. I've had multiple men try to talk to me and they'll say something and I say, you know what, you need to get a professional therapist or a mental health professional. There's no shame in it. Whatever you got to do, if you don't want to go to a mental health professional, maybe a trusted spiritual leader. Hey, maybe sometimes talking it out with some friends, whatever the case. Because I'm going to tell you what, when you have your mind isn't right, when you have some serious mental health issues, and sometimes you might have to get some medicine or something. Sometimes it's deep. Sometimes, a lot of times though, it's some trauma you might have faced. You got to deal with that. Anything that keeps you from thinking, because I'm going to tell you the truth, with thinking you can get out of in every situation if you just sit back and think. See, one of the things that many of the theys do is they get you upset over different things. Upset over things that don't matter. But see, that's part of their control mechanism. People ain't thinking. Because trust me, everything would change. Everything would change. People complaining about the 1%, but then The same, see, here's an example. People complain about these billionaires and stuff, right? Kids say, oh, they shouldn't have this money and they got such control over their lives. But yet the person will go out like, I would say like buying like certain clothing and like bags, these designer things and everything. If people really, somebody complain, but then they'll have these designer things. Or you got these, you got gangs of young kids across the country like robbing, like having hitting like grocery stores, not grocery stores, retail stores, grocery stores too. And stealing everything, and for what? What are they really getting out of it? For some material stuff? They putting their lives in danger and their futures in danger for some material things. They're not thinking. If they were thinking, they would be like, hold up. Instead of me putting my life, my career in jeopardy, my life in jeopardy, why don't I just like educate myself? Why don't I find out how to make this money easily? If they were thinking, but their minds aren't right. Their minds are not right. If you look at a lot of stuff, if you look at something like racism, that's a mental health thing. When it's looked at as a mental health thing, people will realize, if you listen to some people and they talking trash about another group or something like that, always check their mindset. Their mindset isn't right. Their mental health thing isn't right. In fact, one of the things I wanted to do, even when I talked about relationships, I said several times it's really a mental health issue. If you get a man who constantly gets women who constantly like using him for money and really putting him down, that's a mental health thing to keep putting himself in that position. Shoot, if you get a woman constantly getting dogged out, only thing those dogs had in common was her. What was it in her that will skip over a good guy and get this toxic dude? That's a mental health thing. Seriously, it's all over. Now, if you're trying to be a sovereign man, if you want to be a sovereign man, the main thing you got to do is get your mind right. Get your mind right, whatever you got to do, and take your time for it. Because once your mind is right, then you'll find out the whole world opens up for you. You'll find that out. You can become sovereign. Shoot, you'll find out what you need to do. Because like I've seen guys on jobs, men on jobs, they don't want to show up. They don't want to do the work. They want to be troublesome. And I'm like, this only hurting them. The company will fire them in something and not lose any sleep. Who's being hurt by that? The man. See, if your mind is right, then you can do whatever. You can solve any issue, whatever. Any issue. I've been through it. Times when I got my mind right, no matter what happened and dealt with it, thought about it, dealt with it, boom. So anybody can do that. Anybody has to do that. If you want to be a sovereign man, it starts up here. I don't care. Then everything else comes. The body game comes, money comes, living right. It starts with your mindset. Your mindset. Get your mental health right. Whatever you got to do to get it fixed. And there's no shame in going to a mental health professional. There's no shame in it, or talking with somebody, or really, it's no shame just starting off admitting, okay, I have an issue. It's no shame in it. It's no shame in it. Because that's half the battle right there. Because then once you acknowledge that you might have some mental health issues, then you can go fix them. And boom, there you go. There you go. All right. So anyway, get your mental health right. All right. So, or I can say it otherwise, get your mind right. However you want to look at it, it's still mental. Get it corrected. Fix it. Get it, whatever healing that you have to get. All right. So anyway, that's all I have for today. Keep rising to become the sovereign man that you're meant to be. Peace and blessings.